Hello everyone. So today's demo is on a web part and an ACE sample called as at a glance. So the plan is I'll go through some slides and then a demo and then some slides again for the code. Right. So just quickly about myself. My name is Anoop Tatti. I'm a SharePoint developer at Content+Cloud here in UK. I write blogs under the platform Medium, and that's my link to the blog on anoopt.medium.com, and I'm on Twitter as well, and my GitHub username is Anoop T. Right. Firstly, the idea for this at a glance web part and ACE came from the BBC News app. So in the beta version of the app, what they have is whenever we open a news article at the top, we can see that there's there's a box over here which provides the summary or the first few sentences of the article, and then you can scroll through the first few sentences. So in a way, you get to read the news at a glance before reading the entire news article. So I showed this to one of our clients and asked them if they would want this in SharePoint for the news pages, and they said yes. We went ahead and created the web part. And once we did that, the next thing obviously was to share it on GitHub in the PnP repository. And now I'm doing the demo of the same. Right. So the web part itself, these are a couple of screenshots, but we'll have a look at the web part. So all it does is, on the right side here, we can see it on a page on desktop. As soon as we add this web part, it gets the first 3 sentences of the article and shows the news at a glance. And in mobile view, we have this carousel like the BBC News app, wherein we can click through the dots and then read the news at a glance. And then what we have also done is created an ACE for the same. Say, for example, if we have an important article published by the CEO or some kind of policy that gets published in our organization, and we want that particular article to be visible on the Viva Connections dashboard, then we can use this this ACE sample. And then all we have to do is add this sample and then set the ID of the ID of the news page that we need to display. And then, as you can see, it displays the first few sentences of the news article. And then clicking on the card itself takes you to the news article. So in a way, you're reading the important article at a glance. Right. So what we'll do now is we'll have a quick look at the web part and the ACE card itself, and then go through the code. So if I open the site, so here in my developer dev tenant, I've got a news article. What I'll do is I'll just edit this page and then go ahead and add the at a glance web part. And as you can see, the first thing it does is gets the first 3 sentences of the article and shows it over here. If I edit the web part, I can control the number of sentences that need to be displayed. So, 3 or 4, whatever. And then if we do not want, it to pick up the first 3 sentences, then, we can write our own sentence. If I can spell that correctly. Yeah, and then all the other sentences. So that's the web part. I'll just go ahead and save that. And then if we view it in mobile, so if I just refresh this page, you can see that the web part is here. You can click on the carousel and it goes through the various pages. So that's the web part on the in the desktop view and the mobile view. And then with respect to the ACE itself, so what I have here is a site called as Viva Test, which is the home site in my tenant. And then as you can see, I have created a page called new HR policy, and the ID of that is 14. So now if I go to the dashboard page, now There are a lot of articles about this dashboard page, how to set it up, etc. I won't go into the details of that, but I've just gone ahead and created the dashboard page. It's basically, it's clicking on this button, and that should do it for you. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and add a card, which is called as at a glance. So the first thing it says is that it needs some setup. So I'll just go ahead and edit it. I'll change the size of it to large, and then as we saw, the article ID was 14, so I'll just go ahead and add that. And then I'll just bring this up at the top, and then preview that. So what it does is it gets that particular news article, and then we can see the first few sentences of the news article. And then in desktop, it looks similar basically. Yeah, so that was showing an important news article that we want in the Viva Connections dashboard, either in mobile or desktop. Right. So if I go to the slides again. Now let's walk through the code. All this code is present in GitHub under the SPFx web parts repository and the SPFx ACES repository. So first we'll go through the web part itself. In the web part, we've got this file called as newsglancewebpart.ts. And the first thing that we do here is using SPHTTP client, we get the current page where the web part is in, and then what we do is we get a few details like the title, the panel image URL, and the content of the page itself. The other option is we can use PnP.js to do the same. So what I've done is in the code I've included the this file PnP.js.ts. So instead of using SPHTTP client, you can use PnP.js to get the same details. So once we have all the details of the current page, i.e. the image and the content, what we do is we need to do some cleanup of the content. So we go ahead and remove the HTML tags, and then we remove any quotes, and then what we do is we over here, as you can see, we get that content which is present between full stops. So that's how we get a sentence, but that regular expression can be changed to anything else based on how a sentence is defined. So once we have extracted the sentences from the content, we just populate a local variable and then store all the sentences in that. After that, what we do is in the render method, we use the this.width property of the web part. If it is less than 400, then we render a component called as newsglance_small, which is in the mobile view. We'll have a look at that component quickly. And then if the width is greater than 400, then we render the desktop view. Right. So in the newsglance_small component, that is the mobile view, what we have here is an NPM package called React Multi Carousel. We can either use this, or there is a PnP reusable component called as carousel. We can use that one as well. So we import that particular carousel, and then all we do in the render method is just render that carousel by passing all the sentences to that. So that goes ahead and like you see on the right side, shows all the sentences in the carousel. And with respect to the newsglance_large, which is the desktop view of the card, this is very simple. All we do is have a title at the top, and then show the image if needed. If it is set in the web part properties to show the article image, we show the image, and after that we show a nice UL unordered list with some list items. There's some styling around that, and that's about it. So that's the that's how we show the sentences in the mobile view and then in the desktop view. Right, now that was the web part, and the next one is the ACE for the same. The one thing I recommend is watching this video by Patrick on getting started with Viva Connection ACEs. It's a brilliant video. Patrick covers a lot of information on these ACEs, the different types of them, and how we can start working with those. It's a brilliant video, and so using that, I have developed this extension, and then I have this is all available in the repository again. It's the ACEs repository that David mentioned earlier. So I won't go through details of each of the file. You can watch the video from Patrick that covers everything in detail. However, in this case, what we have here is the main file, which is the card extension.ts. And again, the first thing that we do is we get the news articles properties like the title, the image, and its content based on the ID of the news article that was set in the properties. And once we have all the details, what we do is we just build a custom object in which we store the content of the article, the image, and then the title of the article. As the reason we store all this in this object is later on we will expand this object to get more details. This is the a method called as load details, which gets called when the ACE itself loads. So what we are doing here is we are creating a custom type called as glance card, which has certain properties like image URL, title, and primary text. This is simple. This is an extension to the out-of-the-box image card extension interface. I think I might be wrong, but I could have used that extension itself. Sorry, that interface itself, but we have just created a custom one. And then firstly, we create an array of this type, and then we push the image URL and the title into that. And then what we do is on line number 163, we go ahead and push the first card. So if I just show it over here, the first card, as you can see, has the primary text as the article title. So we've got the image URL, and then we've got the title, which is at a glance that we have over here. And then the primary text is the title of the article. So that's the card we saw earlier. So basically, in this process, we are building up the content. So we've built up our first card, which has to show the title of the page or the title of the news article, its image, and then the title for the card. And after that, what we do is like we did earlier in the web part, we go into the article content, remove all the HTML tags, remove all the GUIDs, get all this, get the sentences, and then for each of the sentence, we build a new card, and then that card will have the image, and then the title, and then the primary text or the main content of the card will be the sentence itself. So if I bring this up over here, you can see we've got the image and the title at the top, and then the sentence itself. So there'll be one card for each sentence. Yeah. So that was building the content itself. So we've built the title, and then we've built all the sentences that we need to display. Now we need to display these cards. So how do we do that? We've got something called as card views. There are different types of card views, one for the image and the other ones for quick view, etc. Again, Patrick's video explains all the different card views. So what we are doing here is we are using the image card view. And then the first thing we do is if we do not have the data yet, we just show a loading image. That's what is seen over here. And after that, what we do is we return the first card that needs to be shown, which is nothing but the card with the title. And then we have the next and the previous buttons. And all we do here is whenever the next button is clicked, we show the next item in the array. So for example, when we click the next button here, we show the first sentence, and then the second sentence, and the third sentence. And then similarly for the previous button, we just decrease the index, and that'll automatically re-render the whole card. Right. So those were the web parts and the ACE cards. So I have the links for them over here. And then I've also included a link for Patrick's video. Just one improvement for this is, I was speaking to Waldek earlier, and he mentioned about Azure Cognitive Services that can be used to get the summary instead of us building the sentence itself. So that can be thought of as well. Right. So that's it from my side. Patrick, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Anoop. Great demo. Really cool to see that. And I'm glad the video was helpful and you enjoyed that. So great stuff.